Battlefront 2 continues its wave of popularity, with many people loving the combat system of the Saber heroes, but in one particular game mode, people have the most struggle in using a Saber hero, and it's in Supremacy modes. Being a hero in these type of trooper modes can be quite frankly annoying, with feeling like you do little to no effect on the match and just wasting 4k battle points. With different eras and different heroes to choose from, there's obviously going to be better characters to pick over others. And in today's video, I wanted to cover different ways of how I go about choosing my heroes, depending on the map, how some heroes are controlled, and other general advice I want to give to newer players, like which star cards to be running in these type of modes. And I'm also going to be continuing the video assuming that you know what each hero's abilities actually do. I'm just here to just explain how to actually put the skills into use, since I see a lot of people running in there thinking just because they're a hero that they're invincible, but end up flopping coming out of spawn. And if you want to skip to a specific hero, there will be timestamps in the description so you can skip ahead and view those specific heroes. And with that, let's get into it. Starting off with the Republic era for the light side, you got your goats Chewie, Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. Now, first thing what I like to check is the map that I'm playing on. So for maps like Felucia and Geonosis with wide open areas and little cover, mid characters like Yoda and Chewie, very good. Since for Yoda, not only is he a good beginner character for any new Saber players, but he also has a smaller hitbox, making him almost impossible to hit from blasters, and can also turn off his lightsaber for extra sneakiness, going around and just getting capture points. And for me, I like lurking with Yoda, enter with my healing ability, and basically play dive in a way, pretty much just going in for strike and making your way out. And this is a habit that you pretty much want to make for any hero, since standing in the crossfire for too long as any hero would just get you killed more often than not. For Chewie, he can take advantage of all the long range fights, making Chewie super annoying to contest from afar. It's pretty much that simple for Chewie, and only really using your cooldowns when someone is near like any other hero to save yourself from any threats. And this kind of rule pretty much applies to any of the other blasters you're gonna hear or see in any of the Supremacy modes. For villains, our lineup of devious duelers consists of Darth Maul, Count Dooku, General Grievous, and Bossk. Now these guys are all great, but again, for bigger, wider maps, I usually find the easiest time playing either Bossk for the long range fights or Darth Maul. Now Bossk is for obvious reasons, you know, he can take advantage of his one-shot capabilities against infantry from any range. But for Darth Maul, for the reason I pick him is because against the likes of Grievous and Dooku, he has it the easiest amongst them to go around and be efficient with star cards like lightsaber defense, which actually has a hidden stat of giving you a 50 reduction of damage when you use your spin attack, which will definitely help you zip about. Another card I like running with him is Flow Motion, which basically gives you another spin attack, and pairing it up with Fool Me Once card, which should negate the negative effects of Flow Motion. Now for the heroes that I haven't mentioned, like Grievous and Obi-Wan, do certainly work on open maps for sure. They just require more skill and environmental awareness to really make their kits work on these kind of maps, like having the Flesh is Weak card on Grievous, basically giving you more survivability. It's pretty much more HP. And Obi-Wan just having to use his maneuverability and really using that high stamina he has to deflect incoming shots, but not for too long because it is kind of dangerous. Overall, every hero has its better environment to play on. For example, Naboo, being one of the greatest maps ever made in history, can really excel if you choose heroes like General Grievous or Anakin, since they have much cover to use to play by, since those two heroes relatively have low stamina and usually thrive in corners, making huge plays at once rather than standing amidst the fight any longer than a second. Now for the next two eras, I'm gonna keep it short and combine them both, because for the Rebellion and the First Order era, only really have two new Saber heroes, with previous heroes being in them and the rest being blaster heroes. And for blaster heroes, relatively only required to have good aim and keep your distance, like I previously said, and just really how to use the cover properly, and that's not really the point of this video. But anyways, for the Rebellion age, you're introduced to new sabers for each side, those being Luke and Vader. And Luke has a lot of disposal with many different star cards to run. I mean, you could use any one, they're all really good, making him really the best all-rounder hero you're gonna choose, with the only other option being Yoda, since they both share the same kind of playstyle of being swift and using their abilities accordingly. And while Luke and Yoda are great and all, it really lacks or even compares to the dark side option, which is Vader. I mean, this man is a walking tank on battlefields. I mean, if you see him, it's safe to say you're headed to the select screen, right? Since the only thing Vader lacks is mobility, which you can argue he doesn't need because of his decently high stamina, his health pool giving him that advantage of deflecting effectively in some maps with tight corridors, and your only other option is Darth Maul as a saber hero. And honestly, I can't think of a time I would rather choose Maul over Vader unless he is already taken. On to the next order though. The only new sabers you get are Rey and Kylo Ren, with no previous sabers being available. Now, Rey is a great saber hero for her own game mode, but really feels lacking compared to that to Kylo Ren for one that she really doesn't have any force abilities, in the sense that she can't pull or push any infantry. So it kind of makes her option of closing distances is only using her dash, which is really good, mind you, but doesn't deflect like Obi-Wan's defensive rush. So in reality, it's just a worse version of his with a knockdown effect, though usually you one-shot infantry with it anyway, so it's not like it matters. And when you take a look at Kylo, he has it all, man. He has the pull, the freeze, and the frenzy ability. Really just makes him just top tier in his own mode, just mopping infantry with ease. And with the First Order having way better reinforcements like the First Order Jet Troopers, there's really no reason to be even trying to play a blasted hero over Kylo, for the exception of maybe Palpatine. Other than that though, Captain Phasma is just a glorified stormtrooper with a turret that really affects no one in combat except for the one saber hero the game mode even offers. And BB-9E just being, well, just a ball with his abilities being almost identical to BB-8. So now that we know which heroes to choose based on our skill set, our preference, and map we're playing on, I want to show you some gameplay of me basically sharing my thoughts out loud of not only why I'm playing that hero and in the clip, but also show how I position myself in the fight, what kind of actions I take to really make myself as annoying as possible for the enemy team, and basically be an actual nuisance on the battlefield. So right here, off the bat, I choose Yoda on the map of Kashyyyk. This kind of map has a little bit of both. It has some cover with the grass and, you know, some open areas. Now, I chose Yoda because Yoda comes in with this automatic camouflage called being green, so, you know, he blends in quite well around the map. Now, first off, the first thing I do is just look around what kind of capture points I needed to get going, pretty much. I obviously get to the closest one, which is A, and I just take out a bot right there. You know, I check out another droid right here too. That's another tip I want to add, is that I usually throw in a lot of airstrikes instead of doing the automatic just left click on the floor, because a lot of these heroes have, you know, lag when they do that kind of move, and especially for Yoda, he's just really laggy in the way he does his left click or right trigger, whatever you play on. So I try to go for as many airstrikes as I can just to keep my mobility up. As you can see right here, I'm already on C point. I see another bot right here. Take him out quickly. See another one over here. You know, just deal with him as well. But I don't stay out here for too long. You can see I always try to go back. I do spot one more right here, and I'm like, I manage. I could take this one out. So I do. Right after that, I go right back into C point. I see some bots right here, so I wipe their ass on the ground. Then I noticed this one fucking bot. He's running circles on me. This motherfucker. I had to use my real life force abilities to predict where this bitch was going. Eventually I do get him right here, and, you know, game's over for Imp. And so right here, this is the part where I noticed there was another, you know, hero right here. And usually when you're Yoda, you don't really want to take those 1v1s because you're really disadvantaged, because Yoda kind of sucks at the 1v1s. But good thing that the clone troopers kind of deal with him, so I didn't have to worry about that. And I had a chew in the room. Right after that though, I realized that the B site from my side was already taken, so I head my way over there. I do see a B2 droid right here on the street, so I whoop his ass as well. I do this combo with higher health point people where I do an airstrike and then just a regular attack. It pieces them. So I'm back on track, right? I go back to B site, and the first thing I'm trying to do is find the bot, whoever's contesting here. And B site has this funny thing where you can pretty much contest all the way from the 3rd floor, so I make sure I check every floor. You can see right there I found a droid, so I just, you know, get rid of him quickly as well. Then I just start capturing, and it's important that you capture your first 2 points because your teammates are always going to spawn either on a point or on default, and you always want to have your side captured because even if you don't have A or B captured, you'll know your teammates are nearby because, well, it's their side, it's their default side. So it's always good to not get distracted trying to capture D and E. It's always good to just reinforce what's your side. And honestly, sometimes just playing a hero defensively like this for the entire game will net you some wins. I mean, I've done it countless times where I haven't died at all and I'm just constantly going back between A, B, and C, and I get myself a pretty high, kill score and just overall helping the team like that. So I know you guys don't want to always play defensively. I know you guys want to play a little bit more aggressively than, sitting on points pretty much the entire game. So here's a clip that I found that can honestly maybe help you get some more points aggressively. You can see right here that the enemy team is taking A site, and while they're using their reinforcements and all their willpower to attack A, instead of fighting a battle that I may lose because they have a hero on it, I instead go for E, which pretty much has nobody on it. It's just a bunch of bots with maybe 2 to 3 real players, so I obviously make quick work of them, just hit my airstrikes, some dashes here and there. And I just pretty much cap it all on my own. There's barely anyone contesting me. This is how you should honestly play a hero every time if you can. Sometimes there will be a group of people waiting for you here, and that's the moment where you should maybe think to yourself if it's even worth capturing, or maybe you should just go back to your own point and defend that one instead. Either way, you always want to be looking out for heroes and see if you can take them on or not. And as clear as day, you saw that right here that no one was defending the site, so I just take advantage and also try not to strike that very often because I can have my teammates instead spawn on me, so they will pretty much defend it for me. I'm just clearing it out just a bit more. Some reinforcements are finally spawning, and this is their side, so we're not gonna plan to keep this site forever, but any point helps to have our capture rate go any faster. So just having some clones here as well will help just make last. And I see that the C side was taken again, so I decided to just drop it and leave it to my team and just go rescue C, because C is pretty much the pinnacle of the fight. Whoever has C pretty much wins, so I go straight for it and see what I can do there. I see some 2 droids right here, so I just wiped them out. 2 in 1 strike. That was just a lucky shot. I check in here and I see there's a Grievous, so I try to be a little careful. I still take the fight. I also saw the boss, so I knew it wasn't for me until this Anakin walked in. That's where I was like, alright, maybe I could take this fight double on double. You don't really want to enter a double hero fight as just Yoda, because like I said previously, Yoda kind of sucks at the 1v1s, let alone a 2v1. So I have Anakin here helping me out, taking out the droids first, because they will blast you if you do not deal with them, or at least in some type of way damage them. And you can see that the Grievous and the boss pretty much fell apart because they weren't paying attention. They got double-sided 2v1 while the boss was sitting outside doing shit knows what. Me and him were taking care of the Grievous. We're taking C slowly, and that's pretty much our side for the rest of the game. So here's a different clip I recorded. Instead of Yoda, I chose a more difficult hero, Grievous. I forgot what map this was I was playing on, but I chose Grievous on the second part because I joined kind of late. But anyways, it doesn't matter because I'm still here to show you what to do with this guy. So this guy, like I said, he takes advantage of corners, and he's the type of guy, he doesn't want to be out there. He wants to make his attacks quickly and get out of there. And one thing that I don't think a lot of Grievous players really know is that his cooldowns are really short. I mean, almost his left ability is, I think, 10 seconds, and I think for the right ability is 15. Not so sure, but they are really fast cooldowns. So I almost engage with every fight with these cooldowns, and you never really want to engage without them, because without them you're kind of nothing. And the middle ability is great enough for deflecting shots, but there's just a lot of cards out there that do explosive damage, so it's kind of like, in the middle. But you can see right here that in this clip I absolutely swarmed this team in the corner with all of my abilities. I barely make it out alive, but it was a good play either way, because you always get health back when you get an elimination, and that's kind of the point of Grievous, is to kind of rack up a bunch of kills as quickly as you can, because you're not going to be able to deflect all that, and you're definitely not going to be able to strike them in time. And even though he does have a high lightsaber damage, it kind of doesn't finish them to the point where it's one shot. So kind of pairing it up, doing a lightsaber attack and then a claw rush or any of the other abilities will net you some easy kills. And I basically just do this for the rest of the second part. I just go in and out, I'm weaving, I'm throwing in my lightsabers, claw rush, and then I get out. I get the heck out. And another tip is that if you're on the defense side of this map, you don't have to be aggressive. You just have to wait for them to get closer. As you can see, you're gonna see right now in this clip that the three hallways kind of connect. So right here, I just go straight through the hallway, do claw rush, and I get the heck out. I mean, you just have to wait for them to close the distance, and then you can take advantage. They're all piled up right there. I did not have to come to them at all, because obviously we're defending. They have to come to us. So like I said, I just take advantage of all the abilities. They all pretty much one-shot. Claw rush one-shots, his lightsabers, his Q. So just, you know, pair them up together and you're gonna get yourself a lot of kills like that. And just another tip for Grievous is that you just have to be really quick as well. Whatever you do, do not stay there. You cannot stand still, because everyone will beam you up, and if you try deflecting, then you're not gonna be there for long. You can see right here that I was taking on the Yoda, and I go quickly with my moves. I throw my abilities, and once that I see that I couldn't finish them off, then I back out. Right here, I go right back in, use someone to basically grapple myself towards them, claw rush. I barely get myself out of here. I lightsaber my way out, and then I'm gonna run away right after this ability's down because, well, I'm on cooldown again. So I go around the hallway and I notice Yoda's behind me, so I do the quick 180. I got my Q and F just in time, and he's gone, completely wiped. And killing heroes does net you a bunch of health, so make sure you always go for those as well if you can. Grievous does duel really good against any of the light heroes. Now for this last clip I have, it's back on Naboo. It's the exact same match. I just, you know, finished the second part. We won defending on the point, so now we're back on the ground, right? You know, the progress is a bit faster. And the first thing I do as Grievous is literally look for the point I want to capture, which was literally D, so it's right beside me. You know, I clean out these clones, and the funny thing about these kinds of clones on an open map like this, like I said, he's not very keen on an open map for Grievous, but there's ways you can go around it. Like, for one, grappling with your Q ability is gonna help you a ton, and you're gonna see later in this clip too that a lot of these infantry have a lot of health, like the one with the dual pistols, the aerial trooper. Those guys are really gonna be the ones beaming you down, and you're gonna see here that I always engage with both of my abilities. Right here, it took him 2 hits and an F ability to get him down. I found a guy under there. I had no idea he was there, but he's gone as well. I'm contesting D, so, you know, just it's a very good point to take as well, because you spawn right next to the other point. I forgot what letter it is, but either way, I'm contesting for this site, and I'm backing off when there's too much heat and when I'm on cooldown, because just standing there and deflecting is not gonna work out for you at all. So like I said, I'm being really careful with my matches here. I can see there's quite a bit of aerial troopers. I do manage to spot an Obi-Wan here, and I take it because, like I said, these guys just give you a bunch of health, but unfortunately I do miss the, I guess, last kill on him, so I didn't get the health. I catch this guy here and I use my cooldowns on him. It's very worth the kill. And right here is where I use my Q to grapple on the aerial troopers. Now he's kind of slippery, so he kind of got away from me, but I keep chasing him, but not too much where he's gonna beam me on his way out. You know, I'm still very selective. If I didn't manage to get him the first time, I'll get him the next time. So I'm right here capturing D again, right? And I see him, he's back on it, so I got my Q again, go right for him, take a slice at him. I see these guys just lined up for me perfectly. Now they're not one shot because he's a heavy and the other guy just has extra HP. So I just sit in this corner, wait for my Q cooldown pretty much, and look at this, I'm already here. He's one-shotted. That was just an easy shot for me. Moving up, I see this guy, Darth Maul's on my side, helps me a lot. I barely escape, but I'm telling you, that card where you just get a defense buff when you're low health it's gonna save your ass crack more than not. And you can see right here, once D is captured, you know, there's no need to be on it no more. You know, people are gonna start spawning on it. It's on my side anyways too, so default spawns are gonna help me out right here. I try entering to this alley because I do see like a weak Wookiee warrior right there, so I just take that. I'm just trying to build my HP up, you know, seeing what I can take here. I'm looking at C, it's looking very crowded. Just get myself some kills, you know, just running around, using my cooldowns, being almost pretty much at the edge. I'm not even on point, I'm just lurking around, letting my droidicas do the job for me. I'm just literally roaming about, just making sure I get my kills. I'm building up my HP slowly too, trying to get this guy over here. I don't know where the hell did he went. I swear he disappeared. It must have been that guy right there across. Again, these aerial troopers are gonna beam you down if you're not someone small or more efficient than Grievous. But like I said, Grievous or even like Anakin can definitely make work if you just use your cooldowns correctly and you maneuver right around the spots. Now right here too was where I get pulled by an Anakin, so I get hella scared. I get the hell out with Claw Rush. You can always use Claw Rush for that reason too. You get the heck out. You can be just as accurate as the movie where he's always fleeing. So I'm always using that move to get out as well. It doesn't have to be just for kills. Your survivability is what counts the most in these moments. But to not be too scared to engage as well, because you're just ending up doing nothing. So just standing right in the middle of the line. Right here, I go for A because it's also a pretty easy point to get to. Like, a lot of people don't defend this side, it's usually just bots. But I kind of did the mistake where Anakin is kind of defending this point. And you can see I'm kind of struggling here. I'm a little surrounded, but these cooldowns are really quick, so I managed myself to get a free kill and then claw rush my way out of this one as well. Get some free picks. I'm basically I'm taking this point all on my own. But right here is where I get basically doubled up and I get killed up at the end. And you know, but it was still a good run. I did what I had to and I did all my job the best that I could. So that is gonna wrap up the video I have for you guys today. If you guys really did enjoy it, please leave a comment or leave a like, subscribe please, because it helps me out to know if this is the kind of things you guys like to see or watch, or if you enjoy a certain part, let me know. Now I'm gonna be doing different kind of videos. It's not gonna be just Star Wars though. There's definitely gonna be more of it. There's definitely other games I want to cover as well. I do like doing commentary type videos, so if you guys are interested in that, there's definitely gonna be more of that. And just, yeah, just a little reminder to please just show support in any kind of way. And with that, I'll catch you guys later. Cheers.